Ladies and gentlemen, you're all welcome. Welcome to the show. Welcome. This is ABS TV. You're all welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are just joining, please hit the share button. Hit the share button. We have a lot in the package for today. Please hit the share button if you are just joining. You're watching live ABS TV. Please hit your share button. I have a co-host today, comrade Mike SOS Mike Fusi. We are going to be hosting this show today together. So, SOS Mike Fusi, you're on air.
I am right here. This priest, I'm right here. This is, I think, it's a special edition of your show today, and I think the importance of the upcoming events makes it necessary for us to come together to host the show today, so that the sensitization of our people about the events coming up on Sunday should be complete and as extensive as it should be. So, yes, like you said, we are here today to make sure that we continue not just to talk about the upcoming fundraiser on Sunday, but also to continue talking about the other activities and events that we have going on in this struggle. So, yes, Comrade Fritz, I'm sure you have an outline of the topics that we have to talk about today. I'll allow you to go ahead and go through them, or maybe we'll go through them as we proceed. And I know we are not alone too. We have our very fervent comrades and panelists who are always here with us to share ideas and educate our citizens on the very important topics affecting our struggle. So I'll let you take on from here, and I will come in. I will come in as need be. So why don't you go ahead and maybe welcome our comrades and panelists to the show? So we start since we're already behind in time.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that brief introduction there. SOS Mike, uh, before we begin, let me introduce our panelists. You all know them. They have been very, very rigorous when it comes to the struggle. They have been there from day one. Someone like Honorable Sama Thomas has been there back in the days of the SDF, and he was there in all the AAC 1, AAC 2 until today. He's still very, very strong in the struggle. Honorable Sama Thomas, you're welcome. I don't know, maybe
I don't know if
he's still.
Honorable Sama Thomas is he there.
Yes. If not, then let's go to SOS Ma Gertrude, the Iron Lady of the struggle. You know, Ma Gertrude has been there from day one of the struggle. She has been so pushful in collaboration, pushful in all aspect, you know. And today she's still standing strong as the SOS of Home Affairs. Ma Gertrude, thank you for coming.
I hope they are not having connectivity issues. I hope they are not
Right.
having connectivity issues. Yes, as we were saying, there are quite a few things going on in the struggle right now. We have there's much talk about collaboration, reconciliation, and all that stuff is going on. There's a lot of it going on, and we also have issues of uh, taxation. We have the issue with the lobbyists, and we also had some stories coming out of Kondingi of the poor treatment of our comrades in there. We will take a look at that, and it's not new, of course. When you look at everything that is going on in La Republic of Cameroon, the life is just going down the drain. Everything is just falling apart, and we will have a chance to just not just talk about them, but to see some of the images that are just appalling. Some of the images that are just pathetic. I wonder how people live in such situations, But we will see exactly what our people are going through on a daily basis in that damn country. And again, why don't we take another quick check to find out if our panelists are in. Honorable Samatamas, are you there? Honorable Samatamas, Margaret, why don't we give them time? If you're having issues logging in, I will advise that they should log off and then log back on. I know a
Exactly.
few moments ago we were having issues on Facebook. I think Facebook was not allowing us to go live. I don't know what is going on there, but it was not allowing us to go live. So I will call on Abu Sama Thomas and get you to log off and then log back on, and so we can have them share with us in this. While we wait on them, why don't we start with this issue of collaboration? This is Fritz. There's been a lot of talk about collaboration. I know you are with me. We joined or we were added to the forum that was about reconciliation. Let's start there. And we sat in there, and personally, I sat in there and I observed to see, because wherever Ambazonians call and they express the need for us to come together, I always want to give them a chance and to go there and see if there's some sincerity, if there's some order, if there's some structure. Are there any ideas that can really materialize to bring about this much talked about collaboration or reconciliation, whatever it is? And many times it doesn't pan out. So I don't know if there is hope that something different will happen with all these efforts that are going on. Each person is trying to. The funny thing is that each group is trying to do its own thing, right?
Yeah.
But yet they are not willing to come together and do it as one people. I think the only people that I haven't really seen sharing or leading any such efforts are the SACO people and the ADF people. Or uh, I have not seen them doing any, or let me say, egg of sea people. I've not seen them leading any initiative that is towards any. They have not tried anything. So, which therefore gives me the impression that they are not interested, because at least others are talking about it. They are leading their own thing, but it's not coming out with anything. So I don't know. This is Fritz. What's your take on all these all these initiatives going on?
Yes, I am somehow optimistic in that they
Mhm.
are trying to do something, because
Yes,
the best thing to do is to try something, but
exactly.
not to try something. That's the problem, because uh
It's not good. Mhm.
yes, because those groups, or the other people who say they don't want to collaborate or unify
Mhm.
or have a united front, that is the problem, because they
Mhm.
want to stand alone. And standing alone in this struggle, we have learned a lot for the past 7 years that standing alone doesn't work out. A unified structure, something like what the president just did on Friday, right? He outlined all the points that gives a very, very good way forward towards this plan of collaboration,
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
anyone will buy it. So I don't know what is really the problem with some leaders who just want to say they can do stuff by themselves. But we have seen you have been there for the past 7 years. It's not working. And you
It's
can't
not
keep
working.
doing the same wrong thing over and over. That is not working.
And like you rightly said, you see, it is better to try and fail than not to try at all. So
Yeah.
I give credit to those who are at least making an attempt, even if they are making mistakes in the process. But the only thing is that when you come up with such an initiative and you are honest and sincere that you're trying to do the right thing, you should be willing to listen. You should be, because just because you come up with an idea does not mean that you know it all. So when you come up with such an idea, you should be willing to listen to advice, even from people you don't usually agree with. If they say something that you feel is right, be willing and humble enough to accept it. Because at the end of the day, you see, when we talk about King Solomon being the wisest king, right? It is not that King Solomon probably was very wise, but he was a good listener. You know,
Exactly.
he listened to his subjects, took ideas for them, and then presented those ideas as his and took the credit for them. You see,
Yeah.
they say King Solomon was the wisest king, but maybe the ideas did not come from him. So when you are a good leader, as a good leader, you must be a good listener. You have to be a good listener. You cannot be a know it all. So when these people come up with these ideas, be willing, first of all, be sincere and honest. Be willing to
Honest.
listen
Right.
and be willing to admit when you've made a mistake. Yeah, be willing to admit when you've made a mistake. That way, people like to know that their leader is not the wisest, but he is able to listen and take the good ideas from his people and do the right thing. You don't have to be. There's no individual who is infallible. Nobody is infallible. Everybody is prone to mistakes, but how you manage your mistakes is what makes the difference. Uh, with these initiatives, collaboration, and so on, and there should be a structure. There should be a structure that people can follow. That okay, this is what I am trying to do. This is the path that I'm
Right.
trying to take. This is the end point where I can say, all right, I have reached the end. I can now evaluate my performance at this point to see if what I intended to do has been achieved. And along the way, you have to put benchmarks, just like
Right.
you're climbing Mount Cameroon, right? Herd one, herd two. You put benchmarks along the way to measure your ascent to the summit. Uh, when you reach herd one, you know I'm at this point. Herd two, I've reached this point. Until you get to the
Right.
summit, then you know, okay, I've arrived. So when you just are just going, you don't know how far you have gone. There's no way to measure back from where you started to see how far you've gone. So there must be benchmarks along the way to measure your progress. I don't know.
Yes,
What do you think?
you made some very salient points there, like the issue of the qualities of a leadership or qualities of a
Mhm.
leader, where there are some leaders who don't understand leadership. You know, you are being a leader because of the people. It's not because of yourself. So you have to listen to the people. There's no way you can lead without getting feedback from the people you are leading. You know, and that is what some leaders lack. And we have seen all these qualities, lack of quality of this leadership, where leaders don't want to listen. They don't want to have that kind of rapport with the people they are leading. And that is where the
Mhm.
failure comes in. Leaders think that they are the ones to talk, they are the one to lead, they are the one to decide, make decision. We believe in democracy, you know, democracy of the people, by the people, for the people. And when you don't follow that policy, it's very difficult. Most leaders should learn how to stand down, how to come down from the high horse. You know, they don't want to listen. And there was a voice that, and we see foreign dignitaries, foreign diplomats coming to tell us what to do. It's
Mhm.
really sickening when you see someone like Tibor Nagy will be telling us that without unity and collaboration, the Amazonian community is failing. But leaders don't still listen. So I don't understand.
Yeah, and the sad thing is that even in today's world where people are very much in favor of a democratic system of governance. And some people still come out and say, you must accept me as your leader. But they don't even give you a reason why you should do that. They just impose it that you must, I must be the leader. But why? Why must I have you? Why not the other guy? Why must it
Yeah,
be you? And that is why it is always good to have a process that will give the people the choice to select who they want to lead them.
right.
But when people say no, it must be me to boy. Okay, but give me a reason why that is the case. Who said so? Who said it must be you to boy? And they are not
Exactly.
able to explain it. You're just trying to impose yourself, and you don't even have the means to enforce that position that you're trying to push on the people. So it is something that, as much as we talk about democracy, our people are yet to understand what democracy means. Some of us think that democracy means um, I will accept elections as long as I'm guaranteed to win. You remember? I
You're
will
right.
accept elections if only I am guaranteed to be the winner. You remember when we had elections with Barretta, and she paid her registration, $2,000,
Yes,
paid her registration.
right.
Then when she saw that a more formidable candidate has come on, she said, "No, by the way,
You know,
but
y-
by the way, I'm not standing for this election until you disqualify the opponent that I know
you
can beat me." It is. These are some of the really funny things that
that's
we talk about,
that's a
and
point that
we call,
that
and people think that's democracy. It's not democracy. You cannot accept to stand for election only when you are guaranteed to win. No, convince the
to
people
win.
that you are a better candidate.
Right.
Stand for elections, and if you win, then you win. But if you lose, then you've lost.
You lose. That is that's a very good point in the last election that just passed, where we all saw it. Where uh, Iya Marianta never wanted to run for office. He said that
Mm-hmm.
the modalities of the election was not good, or what does not favor what. So you cannot be a leader and you don't want smooth transition of government. That is what makes a very, very good democracy. When there is a smooth transition of government, because you as a transitional leader, you were elected on the basis to conduct a smooth transition of election. And if you fail
Mm-hmm.
to do that, you cannot blame the electoral commission for not conducting a good election, where you are the incumbent, you are the president in position to help smooth running of the election. So that is where the failure came in. Sako even did not even want to run for election. He was just afraid to run for election. That is why he
No,
just
he
had to
did not.
run
He
away.
did, he
And
did not even contemplate it. But it is through election, or at least some sort of election, that he became a leader or president. But when it came
exactly.
time for him now to subject himself to the same process that he used to come to that position, he said no. And the funny thing is, when people always try to change the rules to favor them. Remember what Maranta
Right.
said? Okay, you must make sure that all LGS are functioning before elections can hold. Who said so? Is that what the
Mm,
electoral commission said, or have we ever had
exactly.
all 60 something LGS constituted even in the days of Sako? None. We've
Mm,
never had all LGS constituted.
never.
So why should we expect that it must happen now before? It's just an excuse for you not to stand for election. That's it.
Exactly.
So let's check again to
Exactly.
see if Abu Thomas and Margie are in, so we can move on to the next topic. Let's make another quick check. If not, then we'll just have to keep on until they're able to join us. Honorable Sama Thomas, Margie, if you are there, um, are they there? We don't see them. So I'm sure when they come on, the studio will let us know. So let's continue. Let's
Right.
continue. What about this taxation? This phrase. What about this taxation issue? What do you think about it?
uh, we we have tried to caution those people who are trying to implement this taxation policy back in ground zero on the negativity, or on the cons of this taxation policy. So
Yeah, go
the,
ahead.
yes, so the ADF is trying to do this on a standalone basis, like a one-man thing. And we already made it clear there are many forms of ways that we can do taxation policy back home, but we don't have that yet in place. So one group cannot just wake up and say, oh, they are collecting taxes. And you go to a small village called Guzan, and you go and be collecting taxes in that small area. Then you just saw what happened in this in Lebi Alem, right? They went there and they were trying to collect illegal taxation. That is not what we wanted. And most of those guys were just lost their lives because they were sent by that guy called the general called
Efan,
the
Efan.
general Efang, to go and be collecting taxes in Lebi Alem. And what happened there? They were killed. So that is what we are saying, that anything that is not a level playing field is not legal. If you go and do anything illegal, you are you are putting the life of the freedom fighters at risk. And we
Mm-hmm.
don't want that. We don't want that to happen on all
Yeah.
these soldiers. This policy, we know we are in America. We know how tax policies are being run in America. Okay. They have to know the type of job you are doing. They have to know the type of,
Mm-hmm.
if it's a business tax, they'll know your business, how you run. Then they'll look percentage of what you are earning.
Mm-hmm.
So it will go in that domain. So you cannot just hold somebody on the road, hey, pay your liberation tax, pay your liberation. That is not what we want, and that is what has turned the population on the struggle. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so it's not working for us to go and harass the local population, pay your tax, pay your tax. No, it doesn't work like that. We have to look at the civil servants, those people who are working, the businesses, the various agencies or transportation agencies. Those are the people you have to task. And because
Mm-hmm.
in America, somebody earning lower than 19,000 or so, they don't pay taxes in America.
Yeah, you are exempted.
It's very,
Mm-hmm.
very low. Imagine 19,000. That is about 10 million in Cameroon, France, right? It means that somebody in America earning 10 million, they don't tax that person. So how many person in Cameroon or in Ambazonia is earning 10 million? When we want to compare
Well,
that. Mm.
yeah. I know that with the standard of living and the
Yes,
income difference, there, I don't know how we can break it down. That let's say 10 million, we would bring it down to 1 million a year. How many people earn
1 million
one million
a
a
year.
year,
How
or
many?
even
No,
500, or even 500,000?
even
Even
500,000. How
500,000.
many
How
people
many
can
people
make
make that much?
500,000?
So when you go out and you are asking people to pay so much money, I
Yes.
think the issue here with the taxation, the way I see it is this. First of all, you cannot say there is none of our structures or organizations within this struggle can claim absolute control of ground zero. That is a fact. Not even this interim government. Now, if you know that, before you go out and implement such a policy as a taxation policy, there ought to be consultation. You ought to consult the others who have a stake in this struggle and who control other regions within our national territory, and make sure that there is a uniform code of taxation that will be applied throughout our national territory, even if that were something that was acceptable, so that some areas are not taxed at the disadvantage of others, or at the advantage of others, where, say, Guzang is being taxed, and you say you are taxing Guzang for the struggle, but someone in Mundemba is not being taxed, someone in Manfe is not being taxed. So are you saying that Guzang should pay the taxes for the liberation of Ambazonia on behalf of everyone else? Is that what you're saying? That is not fair. Secondly, there ought to be a code which spells out that, like you have rightly said, how people will be taxed based on their income, how businesses will be taxed based on their revenues, because you are not just taxing merchandise. You are taxing what that person has as net profit. You tax the net profit. You don't just go into a store and see merchandise and you say pay taxes. How do you know if that person is even selling? So you tax people based on their revenue. That is something that you have to take note of. And then you have to determine what will be done with the taxes. You don't just tax people, take the money, and people don't know. There must be accountability for taxation. When you take the taxes, what do you do with it? So these are things that we must have in place to make sure that the taxation is fair. Taxation must be fair and equitable. And the last thing you said, the risk to those who go out to do the collection. We have seen the images of boys who have been killed because they went out to collect taxes, which the process is so arbitrary. There's no order, there's no control, there's no accountability. That is what we are condemning. And there were no consultations with other stakeholders to make sure that we all agree on what should be done and how it should be done.
Right.
I don't know what you think,
Yes.
Isaac Phillips.
most people consider it as the continuation of the normal policy of extortion, racketeering,
Yes. Yeah.
kidnapping, and the normal way of ransom taking. Because when you do stuff like, there are so many groups. There's the interim government. There is you have other leaders that you have to consult, and there is a kind of comprehensive policy that we don't extort poor and innocent civilians. Okay, we have to assess what we are doing. Reason being that we have been taxing the diasporans. We all know that the
Mhm.
diasporans, if you put the salary of the diasporans together, it is more than all the maybe 7 million Ambazonians back home. Okay, so we understand that the diasporans make a lot of money. They have good salary. You can't go and be
Mhm.
taxing people who don't even make 100,000 per month. You want to be paying money, So we are trying to avoid that, and some people don't understand. They think that we don't want the ADF or AGOVC to go and collect money back home. No, we are trying our best to put our own hands in the pocket to finance this thing from since 2016. So this is not about ADF or
Ah,
AGOVC. It's about trying to task the people in the diaspora. That is our problem. So that we in the diaspora who are making money, we cannot tax the people who are facing the barrel of the gun every day. And they are displaced. We have refugees, we have prisoners of conscience, you have all types of IDPs still there, and you go and tax them. It doesn't make sense.
exactly. And that is one of the major problems with this taxation policy is that the wrong people are being taxed, and those who ought to be taxed are not being taxed.
Are not being
That is the
taxed.
main problem. Most of those who are being taxed are people who should not be the ones being targeted. You have a lot of La Republic du Cameroon businesses within the territory of Ambazonia. I don't see them being harassed like our own poor people are being harassed. Why not go after those people? Go and tax them. Nobody will ask you any question. Go after them. Do not target our poor people who are barely trying to survive, who are already bearing the brunt of this war. That is what we are against. We are not saying the taxation is completely allowed, but do it the right way. Go after those who ought to be taxed. Why? Why? And the funniest thing is that those who are implementing this policy are the same people who are not doing anything or have not responded positively to the call for collaboration. Because if we had come together and we are working together, it will be easy for us to make sure that the funds are coming from here in the diaspora. I fervently believe that the funds should be coming from the diaspora to fund this war back home,
Exactly.
and selectively from some businesses that are really doing well on ground zero. Leave our ordinary civilians alone. Leave them alone. Go after those businesses that are doing well back home, and then the rest of it should come from the diaspora.
Exactly.
But because these people are not able to collect from the diaspora, because probably their favorability rating is not very good, and people are not willing to give, so they now have to go and continue to squeeze our people who are already being squeezed by the circumstances on the ground. That is just not fair. That's what we're saying. It's not that the taxation is completely wrong, but it is not being done the right way, and the wrong people are being taxed, while those who are supposed to be taxed are just having it free. I think I saw Robert Sama Thomas has been able to join us. It's good to have you, Robert Sama Thomas. Maybe this is the time for you to come in and say a word about these topics that we've been talking about. Welcome.
Stop.
I see. Is he trying to say something?
Yes, I see. I listen. Maybe
Yeah, uh, after that, see. You
Okay.
guys can hear me.
yes,
We can hear you now.
You guys were talking on the topic of taxing our people. If I don't miss,
Yes, that's it.
okay. let me go like this way. Let me say good evening to our viewers in Ground Zero. Also to say kudos to our genuine fighters who are doing the on behalf of all in the world. Let me that no problem you have with your brother. When he or she dies, you express your sympathy. Forget of whatever you people were fighting on, and you say, may his soul rest in peace. Let me say, race to the guys who went to Libya kidnap.
I think Summer Thomas, your audio is breaking a lot. I don't know what the issue is. I don't know. Your connection is not very stable. It's making it hard for us to hear you well. Um, I don't know if everything is green on your
Let,
side.
let me let me let me out on side.
Okay, all right. You take care of that and come back. We'll
Let
be
me send
here.
out on side.
Okay, you do that. You do that. Just let us know when you're back. Yeah. So I think almost someone was trying to say something there, but we could not really hear him well because the network was not the best. But we are talking about this taxation. It is not. It is not that we are completely against it. But if it were structured, the right consultations made, and the right people or businesses being taxed, there will be no problem there. But we just don't want our people who are already feeling the brunt of this conflict to continuously be squeezed. And again, I think we also have SOS Margaretrude in. That is good. Margaretrude, welcome. I'm sure you must have been listening to what we are saying here about this taxation. We would like to hear what your own comments are about this policy. This policy, is it the right thing? Is it the right time? Are the right people being taxed? What do you think about it?
Yeah, thank you very much. And greetings to my fellow Amazonians who are listening on the air. I want to say that taxation is not a new thing. Taxation is not a bad thing. It just depends on how it is done. We are in a
Hmm.
critical situation where our people don't really have much. We've been having the people use, as you see, so many people have moved to the other side of the river, of and only a few people are on our side trying to hold the fort. People have not even had time to go work on the farm. These few people who have worked on the farm, they gather their a few bitter leaf to go sell in the market, and they get there and they are taxed. I just think
Hmm.
that the wrong people are being taxed. These people who have big shops, I mean real big shops, those people, from what some people on the ground are saying, are the ones who are taxed the most, but their money goes into individual pockets. And then they leave those people who have those the kinkery, they sell wine, and all those people, they make big money. They take their money and it goes to their pockets. Then they start harassing the poor people on the street, the small mom and pop. The person that I say is coming to sell his small cocoyams, they stop them. So I wonder whether they do it is every week or every time somebody sees you, you pay, or they do it's arranged in such a way that you pay one, they give you a tax sheet, and then they will not tax you again. I don't know, but people are suffering, and I want to warn that this thing is going to have a chilling, is already having a chilling effect. You see
Mm-hmm.
people where they are reporting boys and they are being picked. It's the effect
Mm-hmm.
of all these kinds of things where people were happy, mothers were cooking and giving our boys, people were giving them something to put in their pockets on their own accord. But now, where it's like they are being forced, they are being harassed, they are being squeezed. So it has turned now, the people have turned against us, against the boys, and the people are the ones telling where their hideouts are. So people have to be careful because there's a repercussion to some of the things that we do that people don't think about it. And they are good, valiant fighters are falling like flies. They are falling like flies. So people have to be careful about what they are doing. And are they really using that money as intended? Or, as they say, every time that somebody falls, they look in the person's phone, they have 12 million, they have so million. If this money is being used as intended, then I don't think they'll take this much. I don't think they'll find so many million, 25 million in
It's
somebody's
sitting in
phone.
someone's. Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
it doesn't make sense. So people have to be careful about that.
Yeah, yeah, and you are very right there, Maji, because what's the use having this much money that you have collected and then you are exposing yourself and you finally die and leave this money? Then what have you done? Honorable Sama Thomas, you were saying something before your network disrupted. Why don't you come in now? I don't know if you are muted.
I'm not, but I don't know if you can.
Okay, try again. Even your image is a bit shaky. Just try again. Try saying something. Let's see.
Can you can the studio hear me?
I don't know if it's just me, but can you hear what he's saying, Margie, or this Fridge?
No,
Can
it's
you hear?
breaking. It's
It's
breaking.
breaking.
Can
Actually, it's
It's
breaking.
you
breaking.
hear me? Can
Yeah, we can hear you, but it's breaking. It's breaking. Yeah, it, it's
then
breaking. I
I
think there's
I cannot get what is
it's a
happening.
net it's a network issue. The connection seems to be poor. It's not transmitting well. That's why
Yeah,
even your
I
image
think
is a bit. Yeah, I think the connection doesn't seem to be very strong, and it is making, even when you move, it takes a while for the image to adjust, which means that yes, the connection is maybe weak or something. Yeah, why don't we let's move on from this taxation? Maybe Uncle Samar Thomas may trick something in his connection again and come right back. We have seen some images of the infrastructure in La Republique du Cameroon. Were you trying to say something there, this Fridge?
I I just wanted to say, just to close with the taxation thing. The
Okay.
more reason why most groups don't want to come together is because they want to be autonomous. And when you're
Mhm.
autonomous, there's lack of accountability. And when there's lack of
Exactly.
accountability, there is corruption. So
Hmm.
when one group just go and collect money, collect, how is that group being accountable to Ambazonians? You are These groups are not answerable to themselves. They are not answerable to the leaders of those groups. Yeah, they're answerable to all the Ambazonians and trying to work with a partnership with the interim government so that we can have some sort of accountability.
Hmm.
And that is the major reason for unity and collaboration, so that we know who is doing what at what time and who is collecting what amount of money or whatever. So
and
accountability
doing
is
what
not
with it.
only
I think you have
as
hidden
well.
you
Mhm.
have said something very important there, because some people, that's why some of them don't want to come together, because they don't want you
Yes,
to ask them any question that, okay,
exactly,
this money that you collected here, what have you done with it? They want
exactly.
just to collect it and do whatever they want with it without anybody asking them any question. That is it. That's the reason why you see those who do not want collaboration are corrupt. Let's say it as it ought to be said. These are people who are not transparent. They don't want anybody asking them anything about what their activities or the money that they are collecting. That is it.
Mhm.
They are not
Yeah.
accountable, and they don't want to be accountable. That is why they want to do their own thing as they want. When we tell them to come and sit down so we can do things together, they say no, we are not doing it. Or they say, okay, if you want us to be part of it, then we must be the ones in charge. Why must it be so? Uh,
That's true.
so
And I also want to just point on one point that Margie made, that those receipts, you know, in America, we are used to everything is on computer, it's computerized. It means that anything you give, you can go and check even after 10 years, you still see it there, you know. But how is this thing done? They go and collect people's money and give them some fake receipts. The same what like the public police are doing on the road, right? When they collect your
mhm,
money
mhm,
and they toll gate, they'll give you some fake receipt and they toll gate there, and they'll say those are not being recorded. So anything
who
they're
is
doing
recording
that is
that?
not, yes, and that's extortion. So when you go and collect that kind of money without accountability, you give people some fake receipts. They'll take home, and later after 2 days, another boy come again and say, "Hey, give me money." You
Now,
show that receipt, say, "Oh,
one
that
thing,
receipt."
this is a phrase. One thing that La Republic does with those toll gates is when they put someone there and the official receipt that they give them, they go and bring their own receipt too.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
So when they they give you the receipt that they want to keep the money, they give you their own receipt. And then the little one that they want to put in the government coffers, they give the official receipt. That's
Exactly.
what they do. Who is going to check? That's a
Nobody
place
is there.
that's completely a different ballgame. So, yeah,
Yeah.
that is what happens. And with this again, with this taxation thing, like you said, these people don't want to be accountable. They don't want to give an account to anybody. They want to collect it and use it as they wish. For example, if they go out and even give a receipt, say the ADF went out and give a receipt, say the Soccer too were collecting taxes, and they go there and the receipt is not from the same stamp.
Right.
How are they going to know that that person paid taxes?
Mhm.
Or they may reject the one that the other group gave. So that is why, I said, in order to do it, there must be a unified structure code, an
Unified
acceptable
structure.
code that will be used by everybody, so that when somebody pays, then you can properly identify that that person has paid, a receipt that will be recognized by everybody. That is how it should be
Exactly.
done. So let us move on to this issue of poor infrastructure in La Republic of Cameroon. We have seen roads, we have seen some videos of lamentations from some of their media houses about not just other areas, but most especially in Yaoundé. Yaoundé, their colonial capital. And we also saw some images of the market in Boya today. I don't know if the studio has those images, so we can just take a look at them before we comment on what we are seeing. So that when we say these things, that as long as we are with La Republic, there is no light at the end of the tunnel. Some people think that we are exaggerating. There is no light at the end of the tunnel as long as we are with La Republic of Cameroon. That country is going down the drain. It's going down the drain. I would like for us to just see some of those images, and then that is supposed to be Boya Market right there. That's Boya Market. And I want us to see another one where people are putting their their merchandise on mud. That is inside the market. That is inside. You see tomatoes and look at the mud. That is where people are passing to buy merchandise, their groceries. For example, groceries are some of the things that you have to uh, keep them in the most sanitized condition. You have to make sure that your groceries are clean. This is what you take home to cook and eat. And look at this environment. Look at this environment. That is Boya right there. I mean, I wonder where is this guy Mbela Muki and the so-called
Lamuki, Moja Moja,
that other confused goat, Moja Moja, and
Moja
the
Moja.
so-called mayor. Where are they? Where are they? Let them come out and say something. Uh,
Well, life. Oh.
Virtually
It seems there is
impossible.
a problem with Mike's system.
Yes, uh, he will be coming back momentarily. So we just have to continue while we're waiting for. Yes. So you've seen this is just a sample of one of the roads in our areas there. I don't know exactly if it's Boya or some of those areas after Kumba, or I don't know exactly, but these are the sample of roads that we have now, where these are virtually impassable. You know, for decades and decades since joining La République du Cameroon, road construction maintenance is just non-existence in Ambazonia, and you can see from this that this is just dilapidating. And what do we have? Is it total? Just this is total. Going down the drain. Margie, what do you have to say about that? The road infrastructure, the poor road network,
Mhm.
and people still believe that someday there will be some Mataya to come from La Republic to come and fix their roads for them.
Hmm. Well, let me use this opportunity to tell my people that the reason why I personally, am in this struggle is because I grew up seeing our roads good. Not that not that they were all tired, but they were being kept well. We had PWD, Public Works Department, and every one of them had equipment that they used to repair the roads. And as soon as Paul Biya took over, all those things were transported to Yaoundé. That they are coming with a new thing, they'll tar all the roads, and the tar was like 2 inch. They've still since peeled off. Nobody is repairing. At least in the days of Public Works Department, uh, the roads were being repaired on a daily basis. Now we hear reports of people of accident. A bus, a 40-seater, 70-seater bus has an accident with another, whether it's 20-seater or so. 50 people died, 20 people died, some are badly injured. This is the result of neglect, gross neglect. Gross neglect. This is what we have, where all our roads are bad, where people are suffering. People die, they cannot take them to their homes. People, there's no place. If a food market can be that dirty, then what else do we have? What else do we have? Because at least the markets used to be clean enough, where people will sit, where they sell things like the food stuff, like these tomatoes that we saw, with pepper and egusi and gari, and all those things were so clean. You people put gari not even on the tables, on the ground, and the place is clean that you feel comfortable buying gari. Look at it now. Look at it now. When we say we need a change, if somebody has been in power for so many years, and there is no change, none. I mean, there's a change, but the change is going backwards. It's not going forward. Where are we? This is this is this is not acceptable in any. It should not be. I even saw one about Yaoundé. You see the plane flying over, you see the town looking so beautiful, and then they bring you down to the road. And I'm like, if Yaoundé is like this, what do you expect in a condo titi? What do you expect in Boya, in Bamen, even the major towns? Let's not go to the villages, to the smaller towns. Let's go to Bamenda, Boya, Gambe. What do you expect? Look at the potholes in Yaoundé. People cannot even
Yes,
drive to the capital, and we say
that
it's
is
like
Yaoundé. That is Yaoundé right there. That
I'm
is
telling
Yaoundé.
you, yeah, you
And
see a
and
quick.
and, and, Margie, like you are saying there, these are people who say they want to come and rebuild Amazonia. How can
Yes,
you come and rebuild Amazonia when you are living under such conditions? Look at
yes,
trash all over the place.
yeah.
And like you were saying, electric poles falling down and rotting on people's houses. That is a
Yes,
great risk right there to the occupants of those houses. And like you are saying, you see, the main thing with roads is from the moment that you have a pothole on the road. In those days, like Mama G was saying there, you had PWD where as soon as you have a pothole, they come in and fill it and compact it. But when you allow the pothole to remain, each time that a tire goes into that pothole with water in it, particles of the soil are removed with the water that splashes out of that hole. And just like that, before you know it, a huge hole has developed.
Because
So the best way of eliminating it is making sure that those potholes are filled in time before they become worse. Secondly, one of the causes of bad roads is drainage. Water is the main cause of most bad roads. If you can render the surface of the road dry, it minimizes the probability of you having bad
wow,
roads. So that is why in road construction, drainage is one of the most important elements that you have to take care of. But you see, when water just sits there, that is trouble. You're asking for trouble. And not to minimize the complete neglect. There is no leadership in that country. Anything goes. People just do whatever they want. There's no accountability. Those who are in charge, nobody's asked them any questions. These people just come and say, when something happens, they come and say, "Oh, il faut que le gouvernement fait quelque chose." You can say that for 100 years, nothing will happen. You have to compel these people to sit up, and how you make them sit up is you make them uncomfortable. But these people are bread and sardine people. They drink they eat their bread and sardine. They come out and drink, when they have a bottle of beer, they drink it, and life is good. What do they know? They don't know anything. So that's the situation. So, like we are saying, our situation will not improve unless we leave these people alone. They are like pigs. You cannot teach them how to be orderly. You cannot teach them how to be clean. That is who they are. They thrive in chaos and in such mess. That's what makes them happy. So we will never be able to train them, especially when they will not allow us to teach them how to do it. So the best thing is for us to leave them behind. Yes, I think Nisama Thomas is back. Nisama Thomas is back. Let us test your audio again and see how good it is. You can make your own comments on this topic before we move on to something else.
okay, thank you. I don't know if people can hear me.
I think you are much
Yes,
better
now it's
now.
better. 5 on 5.
Good. Let me say afternoon to all of them in America and good evening to those watching us in Ground Zero. In fact, I don't understand French, but when I watch this program by this journalist in La Republique today, I understand from A to Z what that guy was saying. He said this area view of La Republique after Yaoundé, you would think it is an El Dorado, but when you come down to see what's going on, you will know that you are in the area of the apocalypse. Still are waiting to come. He said the population of Yaoundé is 3 million people, 3 million broken electric poles, 3 million that is the rubbish that is in Yaoundé is stinking that you cannot even breathe. As this guy was saying, let me tell you people and Belamuki. God main market was built by people. They used that main market to build Nkwen market and also build Ntarunkod market. They built a market also in my aid. All these market I'm talking about are better than what is in Boyakol, a provincial headquarters market. In better to go and check. The main market and all these markets nation will never stood this low like the market in Boya is. Let me go back to Yaoundé. The area view of what we call Yaoundé, the capital of Labru, Cameroon. Let that same journalist go back to Bamenda, though we are at war, and get an area view of Bamenda. Compare it side by side with Yaoundé and see which is worth calling an El Dorado. That's a whole capital country, Cameroon. And that will be Bamenda, which is not anything compared to a capital of a country, but is more developed than Yaoundé, the capital of La Republique. No matter the destructive nature of Bamenda, that La Republique has ransacked it, the area view of Bamenda will still be more beautiful than what La Republique du Cameroon is. So who is fooling who? I appreciated that investigation or whatever in La Republique to call them out to stand up. But here is the problem. Southern Cameroonians who think that the Republic has something to offer Southern Cameroonians. La Republique haven't offer anything to their citizens. If you cannot offer something to your child, will you be able to offer something to the child of your neighbor? The answer is no. So Southern Cameroonians who are still dreaming that La Republique has something to offer should think twice. You cannot be begging from a leprosy patient and on two hands. You must be a terrible fool that lives, and God will punish you for instead of bring something to a leprosy, you go to beg from a leprosy. It is unheard of in earth from creation. You cannot be begging from somebody that is living at the mercy of those with hands. So we should learn from the dilapidated struggle of Yaoundé to know that it is what it is. What will be Douala, their economic capital? They say the Southern Cameroon is the third biggest, but the Southern Cameroon or Bamenda, the third Cameroon, but Bamenda seems to be the most developed city in that damn shit of a country that they call. And we want to keep on living with such persons who knows nothing about development. I heard Mama G talking about the days of Pidori. When I was still a kid, primary 1 or 2, I during the dry season, PW will be grading roads, watering them during the dry season.
Mm-hmm.
Before
Mhm.
of rainy season, they will grade all roads and water those roads in preparation for the rainy season, so that all the roads in Southern Cameroon must be passable, despite the fact that we are at the rainy season. But when Mr. Paul Biya, 2 years after, the grading of roads in the Southern Cameroon or in Mancon, which I was, disappeared. You will never see people grading roads again during the dry season and watering them, causing a lot of disease to be killing our people, which are not which are diseases that could have been avoided by watering the
Mm-hmm.
roads, but they allowed those things to
Thank
kill our until that the likes of Mbalamuki and Moja Moja still think that La Republic has something good to offer them. Let me tell Mbalamuki, I am living in Belgium. The Flemish people were the most poorest people in Belgium 40 years behind. But today, the people are the richest people in Belgium ahead of those that were rich yesterday, being the so-called Wallons in Belgium. So the Southern Cameroons and Tumbelamuki and Moja Moja, who in their feeble mind are thinking that the people of Bamida or Bamida is poor, they should be very, very careful for the Bamida man. Even if he's having nothing beneath his own feet as minerals, he got something upstairs to develop himself like the people of Singapore using the policy of Lee Kuan Yew. And we will use it without anything beneath our feet to be an El Dorado in Africa and not having resources beneath your feet of which you cannot use it to develop yourself. To hell with Belamuki and Moja Moja with the so-called wolf beneath your feet in Boya.
Uh,
I
uh,
yield.
yeah, talking about those two, I think they have been vomited by their own people. I think we heard a statement from the youth, both audio and in written format, completely vomiting those two, that they do not represent the views of the majority of the people of FACO, and especially the youth. So I think they are on their own. We cannot associate their comments or their behavior to those of our brothers of the Southern Zone. These are just two greedy individuals who think that they are having the best time of their lives associating with the very people who are stealing from them, killing and maiming their people, and they don't seem to see it. With the images we are showing here, they will not come out and say anything about it. The image we showed of Boya, the Boya market, they will not say anything about it. The image of the road that was recently paved in Victoria, that was completely washed away. They would not say anything about it. They don't see that. They don't see that. And talking about La République du Cameroon, fellow comrades, you cannot you cannot ask somebody like a grade two teacher to go to university and teach a student there and expect that that teacher will do well, right? You cannot ask La Republic that knows nothing about development. These people just don't know anything about development. They don't know how to build anything. They don't know how to manage anything. They don't know anything about structure and order and discipline. They are a people who thrive in chaos. So these things that we are talking about, infrastructure, how things ought to be done, they sound very strange to them. Let me tell you a story. When I was still in Bamera some years back and attending school, somebody came up from Yaoundé, and he came to Foncha Street. This summer, Thomas, you must know what Foncha Street used to look like in those days. You come to Foncha Street, it's like you are in some European street. The
Area.
houses there were, yeah, yeah, yeah. The
Going to
houses there
hide.
were decent. So this guy came to Foncha Street, I was looking around very just so amazed that at the infrastructure that he was seeing on Funchal Street. And he looked at one of the houses and asked if that was the house of a minister. Because to them, the only people who can build such houses are ministers.
So,
I would say,
Minister,
no, it's not a house of a minister. It's not like that was the only house. There were many of them. That was a street that had the best houses in the city. So, like we were saying, these people just are not used to seeing such things. They don't know how to realize them, and that is why we must leave them. And the funny thing is that they will not allow those who know to show them. They are insisting on being there and not being able to do the job. So let's move on from here. I think this is freeze. I think
Let me just
we're supposed to talk about Kondigi or something. But I would like for you to take a
let
lead
me
on
just add.
that.
Yes, but I want to add something on what the panelists just mentioned. While they were talking, I had to keep about 4 points that were very, very pertinent. Number one point
Yes.
was that those so-called elites, whether they call themselves elites, they are the one thinking that one day something will come out from the stone that they are there in Yaoundé. You know, Comrade Sama Thomas mentioned PWD. We all know People Works Department. They have destroyed that company. That was the source of our infrastructural development. Now they gave us a football team. PWD was never meant to be a football team. PWD was where
Yeah, the public works department.
it
The
was
public works department. The PWD as a football team emerged from the public works department as a
from the public works
department.
department.
That is how
You see,
powerful that department was.
yes. So, and a lot of all the players of PWD were the workers of PWD of the People Works Department. So it was like a company, an engineering company that employed all the players that were playing. But today, the players that are playing there, most of them are even from La Republique. The PWD Kumba and the PWD Babenda, they don't have any job that they are doing. You see, so we are trying to say that all these are things that are gone, but people don't understand. They'll be happy that PWD Kumba is going to play the finals of the Cameroon Cup, but that's useless. Yeah, it makes no sense when you don't even understand that these players were supposed to be working, and they were supposed to be working and playing soccer as part of their employment. Just like you see other clubs in Europe. But that's just one of the points. But this other point that Comrade Sama made was very important about these people who think that something can come out from those people who cannot even rebuild their own place. You can't be waiting for somebody who cannot even reconstruct their own place. You think that they can come and build your own place. That is just not really mentally right. Because we are saying that this is a never again generation. Okay, all those political vampires and crumb eaters in Yaoundé, they will not be allowed to hijack our country, Ambazonia. No way. Okay, we have entrusted them that responsibility before, but they fail, and now they are there to represent themselves. They don't represent us there, because if they represent us, they'll be passing bills, passing laws, passing stuff that will favor Ambazonian side of things, because that's their reason being there. We have
and they have a big monument there saying "I love my country," and that is a country they love.
Oh my God!
What a paradox!
So,
I love my country,
yeah. So
and that is a country.
Yes. So that is just what we are telling them, that they will change out their suit to jumpsuit. When the time comes, they'll be wearing those prisoner robes later, because they have usurped the economy. They have extort everything. They are just embezzling everything that is going on, and they don't even complain about the road. All these parliamentarians and senators, like you mentioned, Belamoki, that guy is a useless guy. He doesn't mention anything. All what he knows is trying to say whether whose leg is on the neck of someone. I don't know what he's trying to mean. La Republic's leg is on the neck of the people of Ambazonia. Not
that is a stooge. That's a typical stooge. A typical stooge. He's simply doing what his masters are telling him to do. He does not. He has no brains of his own. He has no will of his own. He's simply doing what they're telling him to do. You know.
Okay, thank you. So let's delve to this other topic of Kondengi and the treatment of our prisoners of conscience. We have seen that in the past. I think Margie knows better about how this case of the prisoners of conscience happened in Nigeria. The Nigerian government passed a law asking all these prisoners of conscience to be released from Nera 10 and the other Taraba 47 that were arrested in Nigeria. The Nigerian court passed a judgment that they should even recompense them. They should pay them for
Mhm.
wrongfully arresting them and taking them to Cameroon. You see, Margie, you know about that. What can you say about these prisoners that are mistreated? They are maltreated. They are being kept in very incommunicado situations.
I think that's the thing that Human Rights Watch should be ringing an alarm for the whole world to know. When they brought out people from Nigeria, they were incommunicado. They were at what they call SED, underground prison. They stayed there until they sent them to Kondengi. The same thing happened to Comrade Ndango and some other boys. Ndango and his friends were able to get a camera to take a picture or a video for people to see the deplorable condition. How they had a bucket, that's where they peed and they slept right in there and everything. Now they are doing we thought that habit or attitude would stop. It's still going on. We have people like this one guy we've seen where his legs are chained together and he's locked up because he tried to protect one of his cellmates. They are living in hell. They are living in small spaces and cramped like sardine. And this is what our people are going through. I don't know whether anybody is seeing this, anybody is hearing us. Um, like we were saying about the roads, let me use something about the roads to talk about this. These roads that are in Yaoundé, we have representatives of every country in this world in that same Yaoundé. What report are they sending to their masters, to their country? How do they live? Where do they get their own food? Or they have somebody bring it and serve to them and bring to their homes? But if they are in Yaoundé, they go to their offices. I know that the American embassy is somewhere in Bastos, so they live around there and go. So does that mean they don't go anywhere else? Do they not see these conditions? Do they not hear anything? Do they not report to their masters? That's why I've told everybody that the international community is not interested in assisting us. They are interested in getting what they can get from us. If they are buying stuff from us and they give Cameroon government money and they go out and see the roads like this, if a human rights watch is saying people in jail are going through this condition and you are there, you are not doing anything, then there's no need for you to be there. There's no need. Then we have to say that the whole world has turned their backs against us. The world is trying to get what they can get from us. We are just being used. That nobody really cares. Our people are in jail. They are being treated worse than cockroaches. And nobody cares. Nobody is saying anything. What does that mean? What does that really, really mean? That you see prisoners um, tied, chained. People are dying in the hospital, in the jail, and they won't even take them out. If they take you out to a hospital, they chain you in bed. What is that? Oh my
Thank you.
Yeah,
God.
yeah.
Thank you, Maggie.
Mawaji, as you are saying there, La République du Cameroon, we have just been seeing the images of that country, right? We have just been
Yeah.
seeing the images of the country in its normal state, right? Now, if you can imagine the conditions of living for those who are free, I mean, those who are out free, and then look at them there. Then imagine the conditions in the jails. That, I mean, if the market in Boya is looking like that, if the streets of Yaoundé are looking like that,
Yes.
then imagine
Mm-hmm.
the prisons. Who do you think they really care about the people in there?
No, they don't. No, they don't.
It's completely a nightmare what our people are going through.
God have
That
mercy.
is, they have just no regard for human life. The way people are treated like animals. Something happens to you, nobody cares. Many of our comrades have died from treatable diseases that were allowed to become chronic, and they eventually died. And nobody gives an account of it. Nobody. So that is the situation. And when you look at the situation of most of our comrades, especially those that were picked up from Nigeria, and you ask yourself, but what exactly is their crime? What did they do wrong? And
Mm-hmm.
why is it that when you take civilians, they are not combatants, civilians, why are they tried in military tribunals? Why is everybody taken to the military tribunal? A civilian, not somebody who is a combatant. He's not a military person. Why are they tried in a military court? Because they want to hide the fact that they are being imprisoned for no reason. They committed no crime, so they don't want the public to hear anything. They simply go there and cover everything, take them, give them whatever sentences they want, and then throw them in jail. Yeah. That is the problem. I don't know. How can you allow people to live like this?
I
Yeah?
mean, thank you, Comrade
And
Mike.
when you talk about the international bodies that are supposed human rights commission, forget about those people. Just forget about those people. Forget about them. If you are counting on them, then let's just forget. Because those people, they know the truth, but they will not say it. They are accomplices. You think France will allow them to come and say it? France will not allow them to expose these conditions. So I have no regard for them. Nisama
Thank you.
Thomas.
Yeah, let me ask this question to Nisama Thomas. Uh, Nisama Thomas, you have seen along the years how our people are being imprisoned. You saw back in the days where the NCNC members were being imprisoned without cause. You saw them going through all the tortures and all the torments and mistreatment inside the La Republic dungeon. And today it still happens. For the past years, we have seen that our people are being locked up incommunicado, and despite the international or the human right and the Nigerian High Court passing a judgment that they should be released, but they are still locked up. Comrade Sama Thomas, what do you think is the La Republic government doing to release these prisoners of conscience, especially the Naira 10 that were arrested, that were illegally kidnapped in Nigeria and took to Yaoundé?
Uh, the best sounding Cameroonian that La Republique most is the mumu, like the Nigerian man will say, you are a mumu man, and not just the mumu man, but the cops. That is when they neglected like Dr. Foncha, and Dr. Foncha rejected La Republique, offering him anything called a state burial. But when Dr. Foncha died, they used their guns to seize Dr. Foncha's. La Republique cherished to appreciate this Aaron Cameroonian when he is dead. You are La Republique
Yes.
best friend. That is what they offer to a guy like Mr. Frunti that they hated very much. He was alive. But when he died, they seized his corpse and offered him a state burial and gave him all the accolades of a good citizen because he has nothing again. He's no longer a problem to La Republic. Any Southern Cameroon, even if that Southern Cameroon is a madman that is still.
I think now this Summer Thomas is frozen now.
Yes,
I think he's
yes,
frozen.
uh,
Yeah,
yes.
he
So,
may need to
comrade,
reboot again.
yes, let's talk about that because we have seen this illegal arrest of our people, and they you just mentioned that the international community is silent. We all know that because any silent of any wrongdoing is an accomplice. You cannot be silent when something is being done on the people that are marginalized and exploited, and you remain silent. You are an accomplice. So we have seen this along the years, and our people are there in jail. Thousands of Ambazonians are incarcerated in that dungeons. Most of them die every day. We just see the recent guy who was taken to the reverend that passed away and was taken to his
Mm-hmm.
village, and he was hailed like a hero. You know, and but La Republic just keep these people there incommunicado. I don't know what they want to do with them when they have passed a judgment in a Nigerian court that they should be released. Most of them should be released because they have no crime, and the only crime they commit is that they are Ambazonians. Mike.
Well, do you really expect a lot of people to come around to respect anything like that? Do they respect any? Do they respect anything? Any laws? Do they know what justice means? There's no respect for justice in that damn place. So whatever Nigeria passed there, first of all, in order for that to be done, you need some pressure to come from the Nigerian government, right? But the previous government was just an accomplice. They were the ones that actually enabled the illegal abduction of
Mhm.
the Nara 10. So how do you now expect them to turn around and help in setting the same people they picked up and handed to La Republic to be free? I don't know what's going on there. Okay. So that is the problem we have. There is no respect for law and order in La Republic of Cameroon. Neil Fritz, let's, Comrade Fritz, let's move on to this lobbyist topic before we continue with anything else. Let's go on to the lobbyist issue, which has been very much appreciated by a lot of Ambazonians that we now have secured the services of a lobbyist. Maybe some people don't know who a lobbyist is. A lobbyist is somebody who advocates on your behalf for a cause that you have. And what they do is they take your case and they present it, especially to the diplomatic community, knock on doors, and solicit on your behalf so that those that matter can hear your case and maybe react favorably to your cause. So we have been able to secure the services of a lobbyist. And for this reason, a fundraiser has been scheduled for this Sunday to raise funds to fund this lobbyist so that he can render to us the services that we have aligned for him. And this is somebody who has a track record of working for many big leaders around the world, even in Africa, presidents, political leaders, and you name the rest. So he has a track record of delivering results, and he's already started delivering some of the results for us. As you very well know, that your interim government has been registered and incorporated, allowing us to freely go out and carry out our advocacy activities in Ambazonia without fear of intimidation or fear of having any issues with the American judicial or legal system. So we are duly registered and recognized, and we have the papers to prove it. And this was done through the help of this lobbyist. He did the work for us. And we have
And like
outlined
you mentioned,
some targets that we want to achieve in the days ahead. And all we need is to have the money to give to him so that he can continue to work for us to have more of these things. He knows how to knock on doors and which doors to knock. He knows how to prepare our files and present them where those files will get the attention that is needed. So, Mamaji,
Mhm.
you are one of those that have been very passionate about this initiative and this bold step that was taken by the interim government. I want you to talk about it and enlighten our people on the importance of it and what we need to do to make sure that we continue to yield the benefits from this investment. Mamaji.
Yeah, thank you very much. Having lived in this country for so long, unless you're somebody who buries their head in the sand, well, there are lots of people who just do what they need for themselves and are not really conversant, do not pay attention with what is happening around. I remember that I saw the guy who was advocating for the Kurdish people in
Mhm.
Iran, and how he could go into Congress and speak to different people and advocate for his country. And so when I heard that we have secured a lobbyist, I was very happy. I was very happy. I was clapping and standing up and talking. I was one of the first people to make a contribution because I know that this is somebody who can open doors. And people ask what a lobbyist is. And as you've said, is somebody who advocates for you. But let me make it even easier for people to understand. In La République du Cameroon, people work for 2, 3 years without getting paid. Then they have to go and do what they call chase dossier. Now, people have gone to Yaoundé and sat there and even died because you go
just
there, you don't even know who to talk to, you don't have a place to stay, to eat.
I don't know
You
what's
by the
happening
time
there.
you get the
I
money.
hope Margie has
I
not
think
is not frozen too, and I hope.
No, I'm not frozen. Uh, can you guys hear me? Uh, hello, can you hear me? uh, I'm not frozen, but I don't know if you guys cannot hear me.
I I can hear you. I can hear you very well, Margie. Yeah, go on, Margie.
Okay, good. Okay. So, like I said, you go to chase your people go to Yaoundé to chase their dossiers and they die. Sometimes they have to go back home and come again, go and come. Now, there are some people who you can call experts. It might take some money. You pay the person and say, I need this. And the person knows people. So you put your case in their hand and they can go through these people that they know to get your documents or get your money for you. So you get your money and you pay them a little something. So it's the same way. We have senators and congress people and all kinds of people in government, but we don't have that strength to go to them, or we don't have the effect that somebody who is from their own country would say, I am here. I know this person and he knows me. He's from my district. I can go and talk to him and present myself and he'll listen to me. So you sit instead of coming from Bamenda to Yaoundé, you give some money to this person and then he goes, takes your documents from stage to stage to stage until your money comes out and you pay them. And so that is what a lobbyist is. So that's what we have now. We have had a lobbyist in the past, but we are learning from what mistakes were made at that time. The errors that were made was that the lobby said pay, we just paid without saying exactly what we wanted. Now we have secured a firm or a lobbyist who is going to do what we ask. He's going to ask us, what do you want me to do? He might make suggestions. I think you should do this or do this or do that. Which one do you pick? And then we pay the money for this person to do exactly what we want. It is not just giving somebody a blank check and say go willy nilly. When if you do something for us, whatever they do, we just clap our hands. No, now we are giving somebody money. We are telling that person exactly what we want. And then he will go and do that thing and let us know that it is accomplished. Then we pay for the next thing. So that's what a lobbyist does. And that's why we are raising money. People should know that this money is not going to be wasted. It will be used as need. When we say go and talk to the United Nations, go and talk to this senator, go and talk to this kind of person, this is what we need, and the person does it, then we pay for the next step. The money is not going to be misused. That's what I'm trying to say. So it is vitally important. It is so important that we have somebody who can knock at doors. We have somebody who can open doors and put our case on the tables that matter. So this is our time. This is the time that we have to show that we really want this freedom. And let me say this person is not working for one group. This person is hired to work for Ambazonians. If all Ambazonians can come together, all the leaders, and they chat how they want it to go, where they should go next, who is it, what angle do we want him to tackle next, it will be good. But this is a time that we as Ambazonians who are out here struggling, saying that we want to make a change. This is the time that we have to put our pennies together. And our leaders will follow us. Because when you put your money there and you tell your leader, my money is in this pot, I need you to be there to put an eye. I need you to be in that house where they will choose what needs to be done next. We want our voices because you, as a leader, you represent us. So our people have to put their monies and bring their leaders together. So this is a good thing that can bring us together very fast. When you put your money and you tell your leader, my money is in that thing. So I want you to be in that house so that when they are making decisions, when they are saying what should be done next, I want our voice to be in there. So please put your hands in your pocket. Let us see this time because, like we are promising, this time is going to be fee for service. Is something that is accomplished, then we give money for the next thing. Then we ask for the next thing. So how hard can this be? How can it really go wrong? Please, my people, put your hands in your pocket and come out and mass on Sunday. Please. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that fervent call there, G. I hope our people are listening and I hope they will respond positively. And I can tell you that the responses we have had, even from people who have not been uh, used to dealing or responding positively to this interim government, but we have seen some really positive attitudes and people are stepping up. And I can tell you that some people have already sent in their money. A lot of people have sent in their money already and they are gearing up for Sunday. But we have to continue to encourage people to do so. And one thing is this, like we have said, Despite the fact that the initiative came from this interim government is not claiming ownership of this process. They are saying we are allowing it open to all Ambazonians to use the services of these lobbies for the good of our struggle. Whoever, no matter your organization, come forth. We will give you access to these lobbies. You present whatever material, supporting documents, ideas, whatever you have, or projects that you think we should add to the calendar that we have given to these lobbies as being one of those things that should be accomplished by these lobbies. Come forward. It is open to everybody. And that is something that some people who detractors out there are trying to spread these false messages that it is for this interim government. It is not Christianus thing. It is not this interim government's thing. It is for all of us. It is an Ambazonian accomplishment. Let us embrace it and make use of it for the good of our struggle. Lisa Thomas, I don't know. Maybe you have something to add there.
I really have something to add, but before I do that, let me say this. The ego of Southern Cameroonians, or of some Southern Cameroonians, has damaged their patriotism toward the cause for the liberation of the Southern Cameroons. Because of our ego, we have refused as a people, as persons, not to see anything good that any other Southern Cameroonian can offer for the good of the entire struggle because of our ego. Once that comes, because it's not coming from me, Sama Thomas, it is a non-event, and I would do it possible to destroy it. That is why, like my brother Che Ayaba, both of us, his ego, he will appreciate what the IG did yesterday. That is something good. 2 days after, he is on the rooftop condemning it. That is why a person like Fabiano De Caux will go on to say that Chris Ano needs to come and condemn an individual, saying that he's not multiplying himself. When I was a kid, I heard there was one guy in the world called Carlos that could be here in Belgium, and at the same time he's in America and China. So now Carlos, like Fabiano De Caux, is now Fabiano De Caux them. Come and knock his door or their door, because it's many people single to inform them of what is going on. Our ego is what has destroyed us. But let me tell you something. We should kill our ego and hurt patriotism and look into each other, not because you like Sama Thomas, but what can Sama Thomas offer? Is what Sama Thomas offering worth to be appreciated? Is it what can take us to Boya? That is what you have to look upon, and not the person, Sama Thomas. How ugly he is, how gray he has become, and about the Southern Cameroon. So that is not a problem. Kill your ego and appreciate the goodness of one another. What the IG has done by securing a lobbyist for the people of the Southern Cameroons. Let me first of all explain the importance of a lobbyist. America, as a country with her, might not want to stand in front there championing the cause of the Southern Cameroons, but via the services of a lobbyist that speak on behalf of the Southern Cameroon people to the American government can now tell that lobbyist that because we cannot, because of our allies like France and England, stand in front of these people and speak on their behalf, can you go and contact other states in the world to tell them that this is our position, that if they take this position, we will fall behind them to support them so as to liberate these people from their suffering. That is the duty of a lobbyist on behalf of the people of Southern Cameroons and the position of the American government that they can take. So it is our place as Southern Cameroons to support these lobbyists that will speak on our behalf to knock other governments with the support of the American government behind to see that the people of Southern Cameroons are liberated. So please come Sunday with your little widow's mind and to help us secure the services of this guy to do the job that we've been struggling for years to do, and we are unable to do it. Keep your ego aside and let patriotism override your personal ego. Some of us.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
I would just
Thank
want
you,
to.
this Sava. Yeah, let me just add one thing to what this Sava said there, which is an experience I had today in one forum where somebody made a statement that um, why is this thing being done by Chris Anu? We don't want his lobbies. We are about to organize our communities, and when we organize our communities, then we will hire a lobbyist. And I said, wow, wow, wow. So you have not even organized the communities yet. That in itself is an arduous task,
Yes.
which the probability is, so that is the condition of that happening is very is about 20% possible. So you want now Ambazonians to put aside the bird that we already have in hand and
Mhm.
wait for yours, the five that are yet to be, maybe to be
Push.
hatched. The birds are not even out there yet. They are yet to be hatched. We should put
Yes.
aside what we have and wait for that one. Just because you don't like the source of which this lobbies has been secured. And I said, we Ambazonians are our own problem. We are our own worst enemy, not even La Republic at this time. If you look at most of the problems that we are having in this talk right now, they are coming from us Southern Cameroonians, Ambazonians. It is not, without us collaborating and helping the enemy, La Republic will have a tough time against us. We are the ones killing ourselves. I say, this is the attitude that we have. So, ask this question: does it mean now that if Chris Anu went out there and secured Ambassador's freedom, some of us will say, "No, I'm not going into ground zero because it's coming from Chris Anu." Is that what we are saying? And I said, "Look, the way I've seen it is, if someone were to parcel Ambassador's freedom and give it in the hands of one person, a recognized person in this struggle right now, say, go and deliver it to your people." If he is approaching Ambazonians, some other Ambazonians will hold him, beat him up, take that freedom which he is carrying to come and deliver to us and tear it apart. I say, this is the certificate of your freedom. Ambazonians will beat that person up, tear it up, and then turn around and say, by the way, we are waiting for our freedom. Not knowing that that is the freedom that, not knowing that
Can you
what
not?
they just shred to pieces from their own very brother is the freedom that they were waiting for. Your brother was coming to give you the freedom. You beat him up and you tore everything to pieces. Then you turn around and say, "By the way, we are waiting for our freedom." You just destroyed it. That was it. Your brother was coming to give it to you. So when I see some people and their attitude towards this initiative, that is what I believe. That is what I see. That
Yeah.
we will reject something that is good just because it's not coming from the person we like. How stupid is that? Uh, this Fritz, I don't
Yes.
know what you have to say about this. How are we going to change
I,
this attitude, this mentality?
I just want to just to those points that our panelists have said. I took about four of the points, very, very important points. Number one, we have to appreciate what our fellow Amazonians are doing, irrespective of the source. Because if we
Mhm.
have that mentality, as Comrade Sama said, that ego, we'll lose a lot of opportunities. And for the past 7 years, we have realized that we have been doing the same wrong things, and people want different result. So this law firm is a very good initiative, because we like Margie mentioned, we have had this before. We have had the Foley Hawk, you remember, and we spent a lot of
Mhm.
money, thousands of
Yep.
dollars, and they did nothing.
About
So
90,000, nothing, no
so much
results.
money. So this is an opportunity that we have to take. And like Margie mentioned, that there is a kind of project by project base. Now we don't just hire with 90,000 like we did for Foley Hawk. We are using this firm on project base. It means that each project they will pay them. Each project we pay them. You see, that's another point. Another point is the point that uh, our comrade also mentioned, that on the 5th of November, please come and support with the widow's might, because this is not only for the IG alone. No, this has nothing to do with the IG. It's for all 8 million Amazonian, and whatever fund we are doing, there will be accountability. That's what we have to understand. And I like that point that you also made, SOS, about that issue of making sure that what we do is for the benefit of the entire Ambazonia. We are not doing
Mhm.
this because we want to make a name. This is not about that. This is about for the benefit of the struggle, and because of the past experience, like Comrade Sama mentioned, this thing would have gone to some next level. But because of this issue of, if it's not coming from me, I will not support it. This we have had a lot of stalemates in on the way, roadblocks. So we are asking all Ambazonians, please, united on Sunday, this Sunday coming, please, let's all forge behind this, support this law firm, so that we can break brand rules, go through all the diplomatic doors that we have not been going through, and hopefully something can come out from there.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know if I think the call has been made. Ambazonians, Sunday is just what, 2 days from now. Tomorrow is Saturday, and the following day is Sunday. So while you are being called upon to come yourself and make your own contributions, make sure you bring others along. Call your friends, call your other comrades, sympathizers of the Amazonian cause. Let them come and support us. We need all that support to make sure that we have the funds necessary to push our case. Because if you listen to Tibo Naj recently, I think it was on one of the TV stations, he said, if you look at our case at the international level here, our case is not even at the back burner. It is not even. That means nobody has heard of us. Many of the diplomats don't even know of our case, or they don't take it serious because there's nobody that has presented our case to them in a way that would draw their attention. That is what this lobbyist is supposed to do to accomplish that objective. We cannot sit here and expect that somebody will hear about our case when we are not doing what is necessary to make sure that happens. Lobbyists exist for a reason. Even churches have lobbyists. Yeah, churches have lobbyists. So, what more of us? So, we have to make sure that there's somebody who is willing to carry our back. He is like the Chinda, our own Chinda, that we go to the palace or to the chiefdom, whatever. The Chinda is the person that will take your message to the king or the fawn. We are hiring our own Chinda who will do the job of carrying our message to the authorities. So please, let's come out and raise the necessary funds for that. I don't know if there's anything else that we missed during the program. Maybe there was also a fake video. We cannot leave this unaddressed.
Yeah.
There's a fake video out there of Comrade Chris that has been doctored. That video has been doctored. It has been cut out to misrepresent what he was saying by these enablers or from La Republique Cameroon. And they just cut it and made it seem as if he was saying that setting the northern zone against the southern zone. That is what they were trying to portray, which he was simply quoting what they are doing and what they are trying to do. He was quoting them, but they cut that segment of the video and pushed it as if it was his idea. And they have done, but I know that Ambazonians are smart enough to know that this is all manipulation. It is manipulation from the enemy. They continue to try to treat us as if we're stupid, but our people are smart enough now to see through all that nonsense. But we cannot just leave it like that without drawing the attention. I don't know if Maji, have you seen that video where a segment of Omri Chris's recent outing was cut out and portrayed as if what he was saying was his idea when he was simply quoting what the Mbelamukis and the Moja Mojas are pushing out there?
Yes, I've seen it. I've seen it, but I'm sure that Ambazonians are wise enough.
Mhm.
Ambazonians are wise enough, and Comrade Chris is working with people all over Ambazonia, and he dines with us. He talks with us. We sit and discuss. I don't see how he can sit again and go on the air and speak disparagingly about us. We listen to what he says on a daily basis. So there's really nothing to talk about. I have told these people who are trying to tarnish our image, mess up our struggle, that they're wasting their time because we are all cushioning each other. The people in the northern zone and the people in the southern zone, we are all cushioning each other, seeing how we can help you in this part. You see how you can help me in this part. So there is really no room. I'm sure that people who are in these regions are looking up to their leaders who are in the government. You have to see, if you have somebody from your region who is in the government, you
I
see
don't know
what
if I'm
that
the one.
person is doing. If you see somebody in the movement and you see how that person is doing, it gives you a roadmap. It tells you that this is what is happening, that these people are lying. They are just trying to cause trouble. Now, they I don't know, whether they think that the people from the northern zone are stupid. They're always telling us how the people from the southern zone don't like us. But we are with them on a daily basis. We should be able to see that. We have people from there who are talking. I've told people that this wrong narrative that they have, where they will say we have the sea. Yeah, you have the sea. The sea is in Victoria. The sea is not in Moyoka. Why would somebody in Moyoka be bragging about the sea when it's not helping you in any way? Oh, we have oil. Well, the oil is Indian. Do you get any money from it? It is tapped to Douala, and the Douala Council is the one which is benefiting, is using the money. Oh, we have, what else do you have? Is it the mountain that Bamenda is all hilly, hilly, hilly. We don't have a mountain, but we just have hills all over the place. What is it that you have that we really want? We eat fish from there. We eat fish from Bambalang. We have our own thing. This is where people are deceptive. Let me just say something here which is funny. People used to say, you need to eat fish because you have vitamin E, you have this, you have that. When I saw that egusi, egusi has a lot of the same things that you have from fish, I laughed alone. I said, oh, this God is a miracle God, is a remarkable person. Nobody misses on anything. If you have it in one form, the other person has it in another form. How else
Mhm.
would people be living on earth if there's some minerals that we need in our body and it's only one group of people
It's
who have it?
localized in
Then
one area. Mhm.
Yes, and then the people on the other side would have died. But this God is a miracle God. He knows what to do. He gives you your own. Look at we in the Grafila. We eat a lot of pumpkin. We use those pumpkin seeds. I'm not saying that the people in the southern zone don't eat egusi, but we eat it more because we eat a lot of pumpkin and we use the seeds. And then with the other one that people buy from Nigeria, and so we plant those things. So we have everything. Please don't be deceived. People are looking for things. It's like they are putting a knife in the fire and stabbing, jabbing at people to try and separate us. We have done well so far. The days of Foncha and Endele, when Foncha won, Endele extended a hand of fellowship and they worked together for years and years. We cannot come now and be deceived. When our fathers showed us the way, we have to follow that way. If it were not so, we would have been separated a long time ago. So let them go and doctor tapes and bring them and do whatever and insult us. We are together. We will dance hand in hand and go to Boya. We are not going anywhere. So if you think that you're going to tell the people from the northern zone something and then they will be crying and going back to I don't know which place that you want us to go. We are all going to Boya. You've never heard any person from the grassland come here and say, we are going to Bamenda. No, we all say we are going to Boya. That is very significant. If you do not see that as something significant, then you don't have your own brains. You're letting people pull you by the nose. We are going to Boya. We are not going anywhere else. So unless somebody is going to put some barrier somewhere and do something remarkable, then we can be talking. So please do not pay attention. Look at the founding fathers like Endele, who extended a handshake of fellowship with Foncha when Foncha won him. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Margie. I'll consider that your final statement since we're up against time here. Um,
Yes.
um, yeah, I will give the same opportunity to Osama Thomas, please. We can pick any of the topics we've talked about to say especially since you missed some of the topics at the start because of your network issue, and then that should be it. Honorable Osama Thomas.
Okay. Thank you. I really wanted to bear with Mr. Ayaba's taxation without representation on the ground, but time could not, or his internet system could not let me do that. Let me tell you something Cameroons on the ground now, saying this time without number, that you who is fighting on the ground, beware of bad advice, for that bad advice coming from the West will take you to your grave. But our boys, our brothers and sisters on the ground seems not to be getting it. The first guy who died in Kondingi in 1997, Richard Nguafomaso, in March 1997 or April 1997, were to go for a mission in Bafut, but we missed the group that passed to Bafut, so we thought then, so we had to wait in my aid, thinking that they will come and meet us. We waited, nothing. All of a sudden, Ngwa asked us to go and harass an off-license guy in my aid that they should give us drinks because we are fighting for all. I told Ngwa, I cannot be fighting for the liberation of these same people, and I'm the very person terrorizing these people to give me
Mm-hmm.
Mimbo to drink. So I am not going to do that. let us leave this place. The name of that bar then was called Zulkana at my age. Let me tell you, Comrade Mike, something that happened, and let all the guys on the ground that are in the bush fighting listen to me now very well. We went and slept in a house at my age. La Republic terrorists invaded my aid on that same day at 3 a.m. All houses in my aid were, all doors in my aid broken, with an exception of one, which I was with one friend, which I will name, and other young guys in that house, the children of the owner of the house. One pal there, Pa Tabagang, and his children were taken. Pa Tabagang's both legs broken, and they were taken to up station Bamenda and locked for almost 1 year or two. But the house that I was there, no, the soldiers came there, asked the lady of that house, is there anybody? She said no. Everybody has left. Even the husband has gone to work. Nobody in the house. We were four of us boys in that house, 1997. They stood there and went back. That was the only house in my head that was not broken down, which we were inside. I don't know if I was the Jonah in that house that served the ass of everybody because of action of my in the night, refusing to terrorize anybody. So God couldn't allow any other person to terrorize me. So because of my presence in that house, everybody in that house was served. You who is on the ground fighting, and you are taking advice from people to go and terrorize your own, that you are fighting for their liberation, and you turn around to terrorize them, that you are fighting for them. No, you are not fighting for their liberation. You are fighting to enrich yourself. That's why you've taken upon yourself to terrorize the same people that you are pretending to fight for their liberation. As such, you will not see the independence of the Southern Cameroons. That is why the ADF, for the first time whatsoever, had refused to recognize their own that they sent to Menji or wherever to go and kidnap people there. When that kidnapping went wrong, the people they kidnapped were killed, and the kidnappers too were also killed. Now Mr. Ayaba says, no, I don't know them. The first time Mr. Ayaba has refused that he doesn't know his fighter. It should ring a bell into the ears of all those that Mr. Ayaba is on the ground. Like I've said, and I'm still repeating it to Efa. You can go scot-free now with all your crimes, but no individual is ever bigger than the crimes you have committed in Momo, Efa. The crimes you have committed in Momo with the dawn of the Southern Cameroons. The people of Momo will never let you go free. You pay for all those crimes. What am I going to say now to all Southern Cameroonians? As a man, if you are in a house with your wife, let that end between you and your wife. If in the process of that a child is sick, you guys should forget of that fighting and take that to the hospital. You must, because we are fighting, we are not in good terms, so we will allow this child to die because we are not in good terms. Secure first, turn back to our fight. What I'm saying here, the South Cameroons is what we set out for. No matter our differences, the South Cameroons paramount thing that we set for and be protected. So join us 5th of November, which is Sunday, to see that we raise funds to complete the mission we set out and forget about our little arguments. Thank you.
Thank you there for that, especially the advice to our fighters on the ground to take your example, follow your example by doing the right thing. When you do the right thing, even the spirits of our ancestors will shield you from calamity. So doing the right thing is very, very important. So I would like here to just remind us of the topics we have talked about today. Again, Comrade Samatama has talked about the taxation issue, the complications of it. We talked about the dilapidated structures in La Republique du Cameroon. We talked about the importance of the lobbyists. And we talked about collaboration and all that. Fellow Ambassadors, the one thing I want to say here without having to belabor all these points is this: Sunday is after tomorrow. Sunday is after tomorrow. We are calling on you. Let's put aside our personal differences. Let us just identify the one thing we all agree on: the importance of having someone be our advocate to those that matter in Washington and in the United Nations. Let us give him what is necessary for him to work for us. We know that some of us have said, "Oh, so we should focus on self-defense." Yes, we have had self-defense. We have fought against La Republique. We have killed many of their soldiers for 7 years now, and yet nobody is talking about our case. So, killing La Republique du Cameroon is good for the defense of our territory, but that in itself is not enough to give us what we want. That is why, as much as we are defending our territory, we must also pursue the diplomatic option, which is what will ultimately give us our freedom. We are not saying that we have to relent on defense. No, that's not what we're saying. We have to add this other element, this very important element of our struggle, diplomacy, so that together we make a more compelling representation and advocacy for the cause that we are fighting for. So I want to thank you all, and I'm very optimistic. I know that you will respond positively on Sunday. We are already getting some messages, and some contributions are already coming in. And I encourage you, reach out to others. Don't come in alone. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 persons with you so that you come in. We will be right here on ABS TV, and also through the Zoom link that will be sent out, so you can join us for this very, very important fundraiser on Sunday. This is Fritz. I will leave you to round up and close the program for the day.
Yes, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We have come to the end of the show. We discuss very important topics, and we want you to get note of these topics. The topic that we discussed was that fake taxation policy. Very important, please. We are not collecting taxes in ground zero. We are collecting fund drives in the diaspora, as we have done for the past 7 years. That's the policy for the interim government for now. Collaboration, we are trying to work with other groups to bring in collaboration policy to make it work. So President Chris Arnold just outlined his policy for collaboration, and we all saw that on Friday. So we are working now with other groups to see how we can form a kind of coalition for a united front. Okay. Now we also talk about the issue that Mbelamoki and Moja Moja were trying to create in Southern Zone between the divide and rule and all those things that they're doing there. But we are very grateful for the Bakwere youths. The Bakwere youths came out and passed a statement condemning what Mbelamoki and Moja Moja are trying to do there, and that xenophobic ideas and all those things that they're trying to do there. So we thank the Bakwere youth for standing up against any form of xenophobia that Bela Moki and the Moja Moja are trying to create there, caused by La Republique, the divide and rule tactics. And lastly, the fundraiser. Please, this 5th of November, our fundraiser is for our lobbyists. specifically for the lobbies, because we know what the lobbies have done. We have heard extensively of the importance of these lobbies, and we want you people to come en masse on Sunday. We'll be live on ABS TV. We'll have a Zoom link that we'll share. So people, please come and give your widow's mite so that we can support this lobby and help the Ambazonian people. Because for the past 7 years, we all have seen that we have had a lot of failures in the diplomatic side of things. We can achieve a lot of things down in ground zero, but the diplomatic side of things, you have heard from many diplomats, is zero. Okay, we want to push forward on this side so that while we are walking back in ground zero, we are also pushing back in the diaspora and the international community. So thank you for watching, and God bless you. Watch us on Sunday. We want to see all you. Please, let's be live on Sunday with you guys. Please come and support, and let's see you on Sunday. Thank you for watching.